Does your portfolio have the following structure? Then your portfolio literally looks like the portfolio of thousands of other designers, and you need to find a way to stand out from the competition. After watching this video, you will know the exact techniques to use to change your portfolio for the better as you learn from these 5 inspirational portfolios. The first portfolio we have in our hands is by the designer Mathas. And he actually designed for various Fortune 500 companies like Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, and he also was an entrepreneur for some time and he currently lives in California. Now let's check out his portfolio. If you look at this website, this is the simplest, cleanest portfolio site I ever seen. There is not much text and most of the things we see are visuals, and instead of them actually be designed in much more like a vertical place where we able to click and see these long paragraphs of stories of user interviews, user research, mid-fidelity, usable testing, etc. Mike basically just shares his projects here, and if you click you can go back, but this is kind of it. You get one high fidelity design screen, you get what his role was, and if you want to learn more, you actually watch a video. While Mathas' strategy at first looks weird, I believe it will get more popular to actually use videos to show design process instead of just relying on imagery and text, because it's much more interactive. The next portfolio we have of is from Aaron James, and Aaron James is a senior designer currently working at Netflix. Now let's check his portfolio out. The moment we land on Aaron's portfolio, there are a few things we are discovering that is different. Instead of a vertical top navigation, we are having a sidebar navigation here. And instead of having a profile picture shown, we are mostly seeing, let's say, a typewriter effect where we are understanding what kind of things Aaron does. And what he does is mostly a header section or hero section like most of us design, but this typewriter effect animation is just adding a bit of much more of craft knowledge, and also it looks much more stylish. And his buttons are also looking a lot more, let's say, like links, so they don't distract you to actually go to a different page. So I'm gonna scroll a bit, and now basically Aaron's homepage is actually what most of us has, but the quality of his images and the, let's say, the angles of the, let's say, the laptop he puts here is really putting an emphasis on how good he is at his craft. I really want to learn more about the project, and from his portfolio I think we should all appreciate how important finding good imagery, not in terms of mockup but also the basically the angle of the mockup that will kind of want to make the person actually click. Unlike Mike's portfolio, he's not doing something like bold statements. He's just very good at the fundamentals of design. So I'm gonna keep scrolling here, and it's the same with the mobile app, and I wanna actually go into one of the projects. So this is the Facebook Marketplace project. Instead of just having text vertically going down, he's actually using alignment a lot to categorize information. The header is left, and instead of having the paragraph right underneath it, we are having a horizontal alignment with the header. Almost feels like a keynote presentation turned into a portfolio, and the key thing that is helping it is using the alignment principle, but using it not for vertically only but also for horizontally for text. The second thing he's doing well is the basically when it's in his problems or probably goals, he's using images to actually explain to you what the problem is. Like one of the problems here is slow, and this loading icon I really like because it already tells me what the problem is without even needing to read the header here. I'm gonna keep scrolling, and this is just a bit of a touch. Look at how big the font size here is compared to the header. So one of the areas where Aaron James is actually breaking kind of the rules of text is, hey, instead of making the paragraph or the text of the header smaller than the header, I'm going to actually make it larger because it's one of the most important pieces of text in this portfolio, which is the statement of the problem. Okay, we are repeating the same pattern he used in problems, just without the images, and then we are just gonna see his iterations. And again, It's showing you everything here, and then final designs are taken from different angles. This is a top angle. Instead of here we had almost like a side angle in this first screen here. So not only does he have high quality images, most of the images are kind of shot from different angles, so they don't feel like they are repeating, even though the design itself, the mock-up screens are consistently using the same colors and typography. Oh, we actually have a video just like the Mathas, and then we have the impact section with animation, which is a very good idea. And then one of the problems he had set was how outdated it was, and look at what he used here. This is, I think, the most creatively kind of out of fundamentals thing he did in the entire, let's say, the case study. And again the animation, and again the header and the header right alignments here for the horizontal alignment here. Okay. Next designer we have in our hands is Kosas, and they're a designer in Stripe. So if you look here, first thing I see is basically this device, IoT device, I think smiling. It's a home internet security. Okay, it's Kujo, and it is kind of very interesting. We usually see mobile or web app projects, but this is IoT project with animation. Is kind of making sense to me. And if we scroll down, look at how he's repeating the homepage pattern again, left text, right text, but he's kind of making it look a lot more stylish by cutting some parts of the device here. In here the mobile is cut, and it is very intentional. Let's say we wanna click on Wrap Studio project. Okay. So just like James, we can appreciate he is also taking advantage of the text. Basically, instead of aligning it just vertically, he's using horizontal alignment, and this is very key. Using the grids, using horizontal alignment is producing a much more categorized visual information. It is also making the whole design much more interesting. So I'm scrolling, and that is interesting. So instead of using a video, we are kind of seeing high-fidelity design on top of each other with animation. So it's almost like a GIF that is repeating. And okay, I am very interested. Alright, these are each individual screens now. Okay. And now I'm seeing high fidelity design screens. Okay. And look at how he's creating new sections with the border just a bit grayer than the actual background of the whole page. Okay. And again, same section creation with the border. And then high fidelity design. So one thing I want to note in this portfolio is if you cannot, let's say, use an entire video and you just don't want to use a video of your mockup, you can do just like him. Basically a great usage of the GIF where you can put one high fidelity design screen on top of another, and that can kind of spice things up. Next designer we have in our hands is Letiesha. I hope I pronounced that right. She has worked with companies like Facebook and other important companies, and let's look at her portfolio. So the important thing that we see, just like James' portfolio, in the hero section there is no show of picture. It's just simply what they do and kind of where they live in right now. And then we basically have a card view. Okay. So we are seeing just high fidelity designs, and we don't have much text. So she is literally letting her visuals speak for what kind of project they are. So I'm assuming this is a mobile app, then this is a web app, this is a mobile app again. And I want to click on Shake Shack. And this kind of portfolio structure really looks similar to what we all do. And one thing that Letitia is doing different is, I think she's going to entice us to scroll by putting high fidelity designs between each textual information. So once we read the header and we might get bored, we are like, boom, okay, this is kind of where we are going. It's kind of showing the end a bit so that you can just keep reading further in like mystery or thriller novels. So I'm just going down, and again, the grid, the vertical, horizontal alignment of the text, not just here but also here. And this is the first prototype we are seeing between all the portfolios, not just animation, not just a video, but I think I can click on this, can I? No, I cannot. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, it's just a picture. Okay. Okay. Ah, these are the products. So these are just GIFs of how the interaction works. So when it comes to Letitia's work, what really was interesting is the usage of GIFs for showing interaction, not just explaining or trying to entice the user, but give them the information of what kind of workflows she designed. The last portfolio we have is of a designer from Germany called Justus Bremer. And one thing that actually interested me was his usage of kind of carousel elements to make sure that his portfolio is actually shorter than it would be otherwise. So if you look at his homepage here, we are greeted with a hello, and we kind of see this motif that he's using of the dots here throughout the screen, and it is really adding kind of a stylish look. And this also, let's say, these diagonal lines here as well, I think he's gonna repeat them someplace else. Like here, he repeats them, these lines, these dots. So it's just a visual motif, and I'm gonna click on his projects, again lines, and let's try this one. And the moment I'm here is I am seeing two screens, but these two screens are kind of between two different sections, the top and the after one. So they are kind of even more popped up than it would otherwise be, which is a good UI design technique. And their shadow is a lot here. Look at that shadow actually. And as I scroll down, they disappear. Okay, there's some animation here, and this part is interesting. So he's the first designer where we are really using carousels to go back and forth. Now, this is a very risky option because carousels, while they might work on desktop, they are harder to work on mobile, and they are pretty pain to actually redesign on the web. So you gotta make sure that your portfolio is much more viewed by desktop than mobile, so make sure you check on your Google Analytics that is actually the case. Otherwise, I would highly advise against using carousels. So let's scroll here. Okay, and look at this change that he did for the branding design of the logo. And then, okay, he actually put a prototype. Unlike Letitia's prototype where we had a recorded GIF, kind of 5-second video that played over and over again, we are actually interacting with the prototype here, and we kind of feel like we are part of this whole experience. So let's try here. Where do I want to click? Okay, I want to scan. Ooh, nice animation. Okay, that's cool. Alright, let's see, can I go hamburger menu? I want to pick cards. Okay, I want to pick coffee shop. And look at that design. Let's go back. Alright, I really like the interaction here as well. And look at how on the right side we are seeing the projects, kind of the general info, and it just is sticky and it just comes with us, and then it goes right there. And again, we have another carousel from wireframe to actual high design. Those are the 5 portfolios I believe that will help you improve your design skills. And if you love this video and you want to learn how to start your new portfolio step by step, watch this video next.